is so much going on in the world. So this is a time that you can cleanse your body, your mind, and your soul. This year, the title is Prepare Ye the Way. How appropriate is that? Okay, so your life is about to change because you are going to embark on a whole bunch of green. I think this is a day for... All right. Teaching original rules about health, Torah. God gave me that a few years ago. This whole thing is based on Genesis 1:29. I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which it is fruit of a tree, yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, or translated food. That is the thing that God did. He created man, and the very next thing he did is he told us what diet would best suit us. It doesn't mean that you can't eat other things. But honestly, he's the manufacturer, he designed our body, and he knows what is going to work best to make that body function and all the 9 systems function the way they should. Over time, we learned that God gave us these rules for our quality of life. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalm 139:14. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. He created us. He knew us before we were born. So he knows how every bit of us function or we malfunction. And we're going to go over some things on why we malfunction. We have the DNA of Jesus Christ. Have you thought about that? That needs a hallelujah. I mean, come on. The DNA. Don't let anybody tell you that you don't have the DNA of Jesus Christ, because you do. There are things in the world that can interfere with that, but I'm telling you, remember who you are in Christ. How your body rebuilds itself in less than 365 days. If you can look up there, your DNA, I don't know if I can read this. It takes 2 months for your DNA to change. 2 months, and your whole DNA can change its whole system. I think there's another slide that's really too small. Your brain, everything, every system, your liver, you're my liver. Your stomach lining, your blood, everything rotates and cleanses. And that's what this season of Daniel fast is for, is to actually cleanse. Healthy cells. You have 100 trillion living cells in your body. I encourage you to take notes. It's really, some of this information is so good, and every year it gets implanted into your brain. And we have people come up to us. I had a lady come up to us a few weeks ago, and she said, you made such an impact on my life. And I'm like, I don't know you. We didn't even know that we impacted her life. So remember these things. 300 million cells are replaced every minute. We're going to go into juicing in a little while, and you're going to see how the juicing affects those cells. Cells are made up of your tissue is made up of your organs, and your organs make up your body's systems. There are 9 systems in your body. Your cells are made up of what you eat and drink. Like Pastor Nick said, that could be a scary thing for some of us. Think about what you eat. How does that reflect in your body? Goals. We try to eat 85% living food and 15% cooked. Your cells need oxygen, water, nutrients, waste elimination, freedom from poisons. Amen. Amen. God gave us instructions in Genesis. So right at the very beginning, he's already telling us what we need. Godly trust is probably the most important thing. Open air, sunshine. That's where you get your vitamin D. So get out in the sun. Proper rest. You should be getting on the average of 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Good sleep. Good sleep, okay? I know certain people, they think they can run on 3-4 hours, but I believe that catches up with you. And sometimes it makes you grumpy if you don't get enough sleep. We're not speaking from experience. No. Okay, lots of water. If you don't drink lots of water, that's about what you're going to look like. This little guy right here. Because what happens is everything starts to atrophy. Your body needs water. Your body's about 90% water. So it's important to drink lots of water, and especially during the Daniel fast, because your body's going to start flushing toxins out of your body. And the more water you drink, the faster the detoxification will take place. Being temperate means to avoid certain foods that aren't good for you. And I'm sure you guys could yell out a whole list of things that aren't good for you. Even the children. Daily exercise, get some kind of exercise. David's and my favorite new exercise is pickleball. It is so much fun. If you've never done it, you gotta do it. It's like tennis, but you use a smaller racket and a wiffle ball, and still a net. So it is so much fun, fast. And this guy, that is great exercise for those lungs. So, amen. And the most important thing, second most important thing, the nutrition. And we're going to talk about that today. Renew your mind, Jeremiah 12:2. A lot of us have a junk food brain. Anybody have a junk food brain sometimes? You can't remember your keys. I see hands going up all over the place. We need healthy brain food. Shoot for 30 to 50 grams of fiber. How about if I hear some audience participation? What is fiber? Cereal? Oatmeal. That's a good heart healthy one. Barley. Yeah, in the raw form. Broccoli. Yes. All your fruits and vegetables have fiber. So it's very important that you increase that. And if you get like it's kind of like a Fitbit or something like that, they have these programs and apps where you can actually keep track of these things in your body. So that getting 30 to 50 grams of fiber is the goal. The more time you spend chewing, yum, 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 the healthier you're going to be, the higher the fiber content. Think about it. If you eat, some mushy mashed potatoes, there is fiber in there, but you're not having to chew it. It's already been chewed for you. So when you start to chew the raw fruits and vegetables, you actually start that whole process better. Foods that boost your brain and memory, how many of us need that? Fatty fish, not on the Daniel fast, but coffee, Pastor Nick's going to like that one. Blueberries, turmeric, broccoli, pumpkin seed, dark chocolate, some of you are going to like that, not on the Daniel fast. Nuts, eggs, not on the Daniel fast. Green tea and avocado. But those are the normal good brain foods. So why are we sick? Dave, why are we sick?
That whole list?
Toxicity. Our bodies are toxic, and a lot of it is because of some of the things we breathe. We may work in an occupation that doesn't, that the air is not clean. Chemicals, we work around chemicals. We clean with chemicals. Obesity, dehydration is a big one. Malnutrition, we're not eating the proper foods. When we don't eat the proper foods, we literally can be malnutritioned. Most people eat a predominantly cooked food diet. Junk foods. Everybody likes to have some sort of what you call junk foods once in a while. But you know there's healthier junk foods out there. So, you know, you look for the healthier ones. Your spiritual awareness, that can be a problem as well. It can make you sick because if you have stinking thinking, guess what? You can be sick. If you have a lot of anger or you fear, all these negative emotions, they don't come from the Lord. So when those things, those emotions that we have don't come from the Lord, guess who they come from? And so what happens, it starts a breakdown process in our body.
And the thing with a lot of the things that the Lord talks about, anger, bitterness, all those things, cause our body to be acidic.
Right.
And your body can't heal when it's acidic.
Right. That's a really important point. Alkaline bodies don't get sick. So remember that. Okay. Shortly, we're going to see a little video clip that's going to really explain this, this slide. We have a standard American diet. It's called the SAD diet. Which of those two do you think the SAD diet? This really is what most people eat. Look at that food and think about it. What percentage of that food do you eat? Okay? And then, of course, the Daniel fast or healthy living incorporates more of the fruits and vegetables that God gave us. Alkaline diet. David mentioned acidic. We need an alkaline diet. An alkaline diet consists of the greens, the fruits, and the vegetables. That's what best works in our body. And like I said before, your body can't get sick when you are eating an alkaline diet. The other option is an acidic diet. The acidic diet is a prison of nutritional delusion. Because, you know, they may call it food in the grocery store. It's not food, people. It's chemicals that they put together. They add things. And a good way to figure out if it's an alkaline food or an acidic food, an alkaline food has no labels, except it may say it has a number on it that tells you which country it was made in or produced in. But if you look at the nutritional label of any canned, boxed, jarred food, look at the nutritional label, and you can't pronounce half of the ingredients that are in there. If you can't pronounce it, you really shouldn't be putting it in your body, okay? You know, if you want to occasionally have something like that, that's fine, but, you know, it really should be infrequent. But those are your acidic food. They are all dead, void of nutrients. In most cooked food, you have cooked out most of the nutritional value. Not that we don't all like cooked food. You know, we try to stick to like 1.5 to 2 cups of cooked food a day. The rest of it we try to eat raw. Our body's pH should be 7.4. This girl had inoperable stage 2 cervical cancer. She's a personal friend of ours. She had actually opened a lifestyle center in California. And she went through a lot of the conventional things at first for about 6 months, and she felt that it was destroying her and her body. So she started to research, and she found that cancer cannot survive in an oxygenated and alkaline body. So she set out to do both things. Today, she's like a pickleball star. She's the one that introduced it to us. And she has no sickness in her body. So 7.4. The way to keep track of that, you could go to not a regular pharmacy, but maybe a medical supply store, and they sell these little strips, and you can either tinkle on them or you can put them under your tongue. Tinkle actually gives you a more accurate figure, but it lets you know. So once a week or something, you could test yourself. I see someone shaking his head. You don't want to do that? Now, this, in 1940, Dr. Pottinger, he did the only known living and dead food study. You would think something this important to the nutrition in our life would be studied and really, how important this is, right? But once again, man has this wrong, all right? This gentleman took 900 cats, divided them into 2 groups, raw food and 3 groups of cooked food. The first healthy offspring, but they were prone to disease. The second generation started to show health concerns in the middle of life. Can anybody relate to that? When you're 20, you don't think about getting sick, right? But when you start approaching 40, you start to see these little things, David was diagnosed with arthritis when he was 32. And the doctor said to him, you're getting older, you have to expect these things.
Yeah.
Like, no, in Jesus' name, I do not accept that. Third generation, illness in the beginning of life. Some die at birth, problems reproducing. Our kids are having trouble reproducing, except at Beit Tehila. Yeah, we must be doing something right. God is blessing the wombs in this place. Listen to this. The fourth generation did not exist. Now, this has significance for today because our children are getting sick and we're getting sick. So it's not God's design.
And why is it a lot of our cats and dogs, our animals, are getting the same
Right.
diseases that we get?
Right.
Because we're feeding them our food a lot of times.
And we give them the same medicine that we get prescribed. Same thing. Younger and younger kids are being prescribed drugs. They have a high sodium intake. They eat a lot of the SAD diet. Most kids, if you ask them, I should do this. Most kids, they'll be able to tell you what's healthier. They know that broccoli is healthier than chocolate cake. Most kids know. But that sugar addiction really draws you to your taste buds. It's like you got this little thing in there that's going, feed me sugar.
One thing that we learned also is that, a lot of kids don't want to try things, but it's important to make them try it because even if they don't like it, when you get deficient later on in the years, your body will crave that food and you will eat it.
So we'll talk a little bit about sugar. Number one, the biggest problem. Now, in the Daniel fast, you guys are going to get to eliminate sugar. And you really are going to have to think about this because sugar is in everything. Again, look at the labels. You're going to find as you try not to eat sugar, you're going to go, I didn't know it was in a tea bag. You're going to find things like that. I mean, there's all kinds of places, but look at your ingredients and you will see.
The other names for sugars.
Yeah, there's glucose, fructose. These are cheaper and sweeter versions, so a lot of the manufacturers put it in there. Learn some of the names. All sugar is carbohydrates. In 1970, since 1970, there's been an 800% increase. People are eating so much sugar that their bodies can't function because the inflammation starts to increase, and all of a sudden you do start feeling aches and pains that you should not have.
And it causes a lot of the hyperactivity in the kids.
Right. And we're taught, anybody that has grandkids, maybe you don't notice it so much when you're younger, but when you're older and your grandkids are bouncing off the walls, you go, they just ate 2 cookies. Again, we were talking about fiber. Fiber reduces the effects of the sugar, so you got to go green. Let's hear it. Go green. All right. Proverbs 25 through 27. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. Kavod. Kavod in Hebrew is translated both glory and liver. And the psychology of honey is the same as sugar. So just don't eat too much of it. That is a picture of my granddaughter at her first birthday party. It was the first time she ever had sugar. Tell me it's not addictive. I mean, the picture, look at she just, and honestly, that was the first time she ever had a taste of sugar. This has some kind of delay on it. Okay, so here are some of the dangers of sugar and fructose. And remember, there's other names. Anything that ends in OSE is generally sugar. All right? High blood pressure, heart disease, weight gain. When have you ever seen a fat giraffe? You know why? They eat what God designed them to eat. You know? Now, what about our little puppies and kitties? We see some pretty hefty puppies and kitties because we feed them our food. You know? Memory problems. Sugar will cause memory problems. You know, that's little Dory. You know, I may have a bad memory, but at least I don't have a bad memory. Fatty liver. A lot of people get diagnosed with a fatty liver and they can't understand why. It's generally linked to sugar. Kidney stones. If anybody's ever had a kidney stone, yeah, a few of you could raise your hands on that one. And cancer. Sugar actually feeds cancer. And one way you can know that is when you go in for a cancer test, they actually, I think is it the PET scan or, I don't know, but they actually put like sugar in the mechanism to determine what level cancer you have. So they actually use sugar because then they can see where it lights up. Where is your inflammation? That's a good thing. Think about this little diagram. You know, it could be your lower back. It could be your neck. It could be your feet. You know, so think about what you've eaten in the last few days. Sugar is also accumulative. So that makes a difference as well. The life is in the blood. Leviticus 17:11. You know, I am one of these that I know I have the DNA of Jesus Christ. And I know that my blood is pure. I know that Jesus Christ's breath is in my husband's lungs. Okay, COVID isn't there. You know, he has the breath of God in his lungs. Well, I am very fanatical about what's in my blood. I don't let anybody just put anything in my blood. So think about that. I'm not going to go into it, but this slide is really important for you to understand because this is what your artery looks like. And this is prior to a fatty meal. So you know, you got this little highway of life, and all your cells are doing what they're supposed to do. They're running through there. But this person went out and consumed a hamburger, french fries, a shake, bacon, eggs, butter, bread. That's his meal for the first 2 days, first 2 hours of the first 2 meals of the day. Let's look at the change in the blood 1 hour after that one meal. Okay, 1 hour. It starts to kind of gather together. 4 hours after that meal, and then 6 hours after that meal. You've got a major highway catastrophe there. And actually, it's a heart attack waiting to happen. It takes your body 12 hours for your blood to go back to normal. Now, think about the average person out there. You saw what the standard American diet food is, and you can see that they're eating that type of high-fat diet, and that's what their blood's going to look like 3/4 of the time.
Now, when you go for an operation, they want you to fast for at least 12 hours before the operation, right? You know, you can't eat. And we had two nurses in our at the lifestyle center that were watching this video that we were showing, and it showed a guy that was in an accident, and they drew his blood, put it on the counter, that came back to get it, and it was all yellow. The part that had separated, instead of being clear, was yellow.
It was Haman
yellow.
yellow.
The two nurses in the that were watching it gasped as they saw that. Said, "We've never seen that before." That's because we fast, and it can clear up, okay? But this guy got in the accident, and they couldn't. So it just goes to show what his blood looked like.
Really? Excuse me. All right. Come on, somebody. It's the Daniel fast time. Yeah, you want to do the wave? There you go. August 8th, is this right? To September 16th. Is that right? Okay. Okay. 29th. I'm sorry for that error. 8th to the 29th of August, okay? Again, this is going to be an exciting year to do the Daniel fast. I want you guys to rev yourselves up this year and really dig in with all your heels. And don't go around asking everybody, are you doing the Daniel fast? This is between you and God. All right? It's between you and God.
And we're there for you if you have any questions on it too.
Yeah, you can call us if you're not if you're concerned about anything. I do want to preface that we are not doctors, but we are pretty educated in this line of business. And you know, if you have health challenges, there are some things that you need to be aware of. You know, to go into a water fast, you would definitely need some medical help to do that. You know, I would only recommend that if somebody, if God told them to do it. But if there's certain heart conditions, if you're on blood thinners, things like that, if you're diabetic and you're going to juice, you need to add a teaspoon of flax oil to 8 ounces of juice, and you can handle the juice. Your blood sugar will actually start to come down. And we used to have people at the center all the time that came in with diabetes, and they would say, I can't do it, I'm on insulin. And I'd say, well, let's just experiment, okay? And I was telling you what, by the end of the week, they were reducing their insulin because your body's getting the nutrition that you need. The Daniel fast is going to help your body get back in order physically and not so controlled by the flesh. How many of you sometimes, you can raise your hands because I think everybody should raise their hands. How many of you think that sometimes the food cravings you have is determined by your flesh? Every one of us has cravings or something like that, or maybe it's just a bad habit, you know, but it's definitely the flesh. Fasting, what are you doing?
How'd that happen?
How'd that happen? I didn't do it. I think your media team is. Okay.
Yeah, they fixed the date on it.
Oh, they fixed the date. Hey, these guys are great. You ought to give them a raise. Okay, Daniel 10, 2-3, and Exodus 12, 1-20 is where we start to learn how Daniel did fasting. It's in the Bible. You know, fasting is good for you. The first one, Daniel had been mourning for 3 weeks. He ate no choice foods, no meat or wine, and this was an observance of Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The second fast Daniel did, Daniel 1:8, indicates that Daniel did not want to eat the king's delicacies because some of it may have been forbidden by Mosaic law, which would defile his body. The kind of looks like the standard American diet. You think even back in the king days, they were eating high-fat, rich foods. And a lot of kings, when you look at pictures, old pictures, you see them. They're all very large people.
And most of the time, they didn't live very old.
Right. Yeah. Another reason could be that some of the foods may have been offered up to Babylonian idols, and that was against God's commandments. So maybe his focus was different, but our focus needs to be on ourselves, on Israel, on our body, and that this is a great season, Teshuvah, to be able to turn around and repent for our bad ways. Okay, this year we want to prepare you a little better and show you some of the things that you can do. Like, how do you start? A lot of people don't know. They look and they look at the aisle, the outside aisle of the grocery store, and they look at all this pretty green and yellow and red and all the beautiful colors God created, all that food, and they don't have a clue where to start. So what do? Most people will just start with eating just a salad. Salad, salad, salad. Well, pretty soon what happens, people get so sick of eating just salad that they get bored. Okay? So they either dump a whole bottle of ranch dressing on it to make it taste better, or they don't know what to do with all this green stuff. But the first thing, we gave you a handout, and the handout kind of gives you this outline of some things that you can do to prepare. We purposely set this up so that we could talk to you a week before you start the Daniel fast. So you have a week to prepare your body and, more importantly, your mind. Because some people get very excited. Oh my gosh, it's the Daniel fast time. And then other people go, oh no. So we need to change our heart, okay? Renew our mind. The first thing you should do is clean out your refrigerator and pantry of all the things. Now, if you've got some real good food that's still very good, donate it. Donate it to a shelter or something, But we've got to get all the leaven out of our house. If you have kids, make it a game. Make it fun. And just say, you know what, we're going to get all the leaven out. And then we're going to work on our own body and get all the sin out of us during the season. Make a new Daniel fast approved menu. How many people have done that in the past? That you actually make a menu. It is so much easier if you prepare. If you don't plan things, you're really planning to fail. So plan to succeed and actually go on Pinterest. Pinterest is a great place. Type in raw foods or vegetarian foods or vegan foods, and you will get a multitude of beautiful recipes that you can try. Don't get stuck in a rut. Plan all kinds of interesting food because you will be more successful, and you may even find some favorites. We used to make this thing called navy bean soup. And I'm telling you, people love this soup. We had a restaurant, and people just loved this soup. So if you want the recipe, call me. But make each week, a lot of people, they plan ahead of time. They go out and they make a recipe and, a new menu for each week. Just change what you're buying this time. Prayerfully seek God for direction. He will guide you. Okay, because we want to clean ourselves, our body, our mind, and our soul. And ask God for your personal purpose. We're going to pray for Israel this year, but also pray for your personal breakthrough. What is the purpose of this fast for you personally? Start introducing raw veggies to your diet. I periodically work with my granddaughter, and I show her the importance of eating healthy foods. Now, does she as a 3-year-old? Not always, okay? But we make her try things, okay? So, and she will. She'll try them. These are some of the foods that we would eat. The up here is a dehydrated tomatoes with a pine nut cheese.
I wish you could see a closer shot of these because they are really, really good.
Yeah, this is like raw zucchini with a pesto sauce. I mean, that is a perfect thing that you could have on the Daniel fast. You can have olive oil, so olive oil and basil and pine nuts makes a great pesto. Garlic, regular salads, but don't just eat lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. Get creative. Okay. A lot of you, we've heard lots of jokes about, what you go through when you give up your coffee or what happens when you go on the Daniel fast. And a lot of people that we've helped and talked to, they would say, well, that diet made me sick. Well, it's not the diet making you sick. What it is when you put the good diet stuff in, all the bad stuff starts coming out. So you start to have some gas. So be careful who you sit next to. The social distancing was actually very good for that. I mean, that was one benefit I thought was really good. Okay, headaches. You may get headaches, especially if you don't detox off the coffee. This coming week, you should start weaning yourself off coffee because that is one thing that you will detox from if you drink more than a cup a day. You can get very lethargic and very tired. All right, you could just put your head down or you're watching TV and out you go because it makes you very tired as the toxins are being released. Acne, you could have acne because maybe you're 70 years old and you haven't had a pimple for 50 years and all of a sudden you break out all over the place. Detox. Heartburn, a lot of times you just get that burn right here. If you eat something and all of a sudden you're burning, detox, okay? Constipation, that's a real thing, okay? And mostly constipation's caused by a lack of water and fiber. You start putting those two things in, you're gonna start eliminating the way you're supposed to. And this is probably every husband and wife's favorite one, emotions. Because you know what? Sometimes the emotions that come out of people who detox just aren't very fun. But the good news is this is short term. Remember that. And the more you prepare yourself this coming week, the less of those symptoms you're going to actually have.
At the Lifestyle Center, we used to start on Sunday and go through Friday afternoon. And the first 2 to 3 days, especially the first two, some of the people were pretty miserable because they didn't listen to Sherry and start weaning off of some of the stuff ahead of time. And by about Wednesday, though, that was a turnaround time where people started feeling really good, and then it would just go from there.
Can media advance this slide to the next one? Mine's not working. There you go. No, yeah, thank you. Look what happened to Dave. What do you mean I have to give up my coffee? Hey, my Muppet honey. Some of he goes, you're brutal to me. Some of you have a blood type of coffee. Some of you drink so much coffee that you can't help it. It's gonna change your blood type. It says you like big cups, but you cannot lie. You know that song? Okay, caffeine is addictive. It really is. Caffeine is addictive. And if you don't believe me, don't prepare next week and start the Daniel fast, and you will see ibuprofen. Yeah, it'll take the edge off. But honestly, if you want to be kind to your body, it would be better if you just gave up the coffee a little bit at the time. If you drink 2 cups, drink a cup and a half for 2 days, cup and a quarter for a couple days. By the end of the week, as you wean yourself off, you will not have caffeine headache, okay? Because your body's starting to readjust. So to avoid such drama for your loved ones, we suggest that you start to wean yourself off next week. All right?
Sherry went into the hospital one time, and she had horrible headaches. And the nurse came in and says, "You're detoxing." She says, "But I don't drink coffee." She drank Coke, though, you know?
Yeah. At that time, I was drinking Coke, and so there's a lot of caffeine in Coke. This is back in the 80s, and I was like, "What do you mean what do you mean I have a withdrawal headache?" is what she told me. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. And again, there is caffeine in other things. Everybody knows there's caffeine in chocolate, dark chocolate, light chocolate. So be aware that caffeine is hidden in foods as well. We take better care of our cars than we do our bodies sometimes. Do you ever see the little light on the dashboard? I don't even know if they still have it, but they have this little light and it blinks. Well, yeah, when it blinks, it's a warning, right? Well, it's called an idiot light. Right. Well, if your idiot light is blinking in your body with symptoms or things like that, it's time to wake up. It's time for maintenance. You have to figure out, why is that light blinking? Why is that arthritic elbow hurting me? Why is that neck bothering me? Why is this headache here? Why is my knees hurting me? All these different things that it's blinking. It's telling you that there's something wrong. You need a tune-up. And this Daniel fast will give you that tune-up.
A lot of times in the medical world, they'll tell you to take an ibuprofen or take this or that or the other. And your body's giving you symptoms that you've done something wrong. Listen to your body.
Yeah, we're putting the wrong fuel. If you put the wrong fuel in your car, it's going to start pinging and knocking, right? If you've got a regular car, it takes unleaded, and you put in diesel fuel, watch what happens. You got a big bill coming up your way. It can overheat because you need water. So if you're not drinking enough water, your body can actually overheat.
That's one of the biggest causes of our ailments today is dehydration.
And your the wrong gas in the car, your car can start sputtering. Well, sometimes with when people come up to us and they tell us some of the problems they have, it's sputtering. They got lots of things going wrong. Your colon is one of your most important things. It's your sewer system. And the first half of your colon is to reduce the amount of matter by absorbing the water and needed nutrients. The job of the last half of the colon is to transmit and dispose of the remaining waste in your body. Sometimes we used to have a whole hour class on this subject, and so many people go, "Oh, you talk about that," and we would do it at the dinner table, and we, some people were very mortified that we would do that. But you know what? It's one of the most important topics of conversation, because most people don't know that your body needs fiber and water to make this system work the way it's supposed to. The elimination should be, you should be going 2 to 3 times a day. If you're not, you're clogged up.
With no strain.
Right. And we have a product that actually helps that, but you need the herbs and you need the fiber and everything to break all that down. Psyllium husk is a really good thing. Ground flaxseed is another thing that would help you. Probiotics, taking probiotics will help you with the friendly bacteria in your gut, and digestive enzymes before you eat cooked food. If you eat a lot of cooked food, it would be really helpful to add those supplements to your diet. Most health professionals believe all disease starts in the colon. So if your colon's not working right, then you potentially can get in a little bit of trouble.
And I believe it's if you're on a lot of medications that it kills that friendly flora, right?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so
So
you
you
need the
can,
probiotics.
right. Yeah. That's anytime you're put on an antibiotic, you should be taking probiotics. This, again, your sewer system needs attention. This is the product that we sell. We recommend 1 bottle every 6 months. It will help you stay clean when you go back to the standard American diet, which we call Egypt. Um, but this product actually will help that. To give you an example, here's 3 colons. All right, and this first colon, this is diverticulitis. I'm sure a lot of people have heard. See, it gets these little balloons that come out of the colon. This is your large intestine. And that little bubble there can cause a great deal of discomfort. And they may tell you at the doctors, don't eat anything with seeds. Because if you get a little seed caught into one of those little balloon areas, it can be extremely painful. All right? So what happens when you take a good fiber product, it starts to clean all this stuff. And it starts to help you eliminate some of the old things that are trapped in there. The second one is colitis. A lot of people have colitis. Anything with itis at the end means inflammation. That kind of person really should avoid sugar, okay, because the sugar is one of the biggest problems. Not always the only problem, but this person has a blockage. When you have a blockage like this is the descending colon right here. And what happens with that one is it starts to build up. The matter can't get out the way it's supposed to naturally, and that person may have a blowout, and then the medical world will want to cut out this piece of your colon. All right? This one is a prolapsus. This is when the fecal matter gets stuck up here, and it gets so heavy that it collapses. If you see a rather heavy person and you see a lot of tissue down in between, like their knees and their torso, that's probably what's going on.
There are some horrific pictures of colons that they've taken pictures of after operations. Unbelievable.
So here's the Daniel fast diet, okay? Remember, your fruit, okay, are your body cleansers. Those are the ones that help your body function the way they should. So you should be eating fruit every day. One of our daughters does not like fruit. I cannot for the life of me understand that. How can you not like fruit? There is such an amazing amount of, I can't wait for each season that has new fruit, right? I don't, it's so tasty. I don't understand. But, Charles?
A lot of fruit, for me, I can't talk for anybody else, but I talk for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get a lot of fruit in, my sugar
Right.
Right,
so
right. Well, in what you do in that case, don't drink fruit juices, but you still can have fruit, but minimally. And the low sugar fruits, like your berries and things like that. Yeah, but as your body's condition improves, then you can start increasing the fruit. Okay, it's a catch-22. The body builders are the veggies. The body's vegetables are your body builders. Do you know there are vegan bodybuilders and all they eat is vegan food?
Mm-hmm.
So you can build muscle on fruits and vegetables. Proverbs 7:1-2 says, "My son, keep my words and treasure up my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live." I mean, that's great advice. Shop the outside aisles of the market. Yay. There's no labels. Okay? Grow your own veggies. It saves money. It's a great hobby. Get your children involved. Let them see where spinach comes from. Let them pick an apple off a tree. You know, a lot of kids, they just think food comes at the grocery store. You know, and we used to have a gorgeous garden at the Lifestyle Center. I really miss it. And someday I hope we get to do that again, because it was amazing to go out there and pick my own vegetables and make my own salad from everything that we grew. And you know, he was the one with the green thumb, not me. But what was amazing to me was that, number one, the taste was so much better. You actually can taste lettuce. But some of the stuff they buy in the stores just does not taste well. You know, and my daughter had gotten COVID, and ever since COVID, she can't eat lettuce. It all tastes like, what'd she say, pneumonia?
I forget what it was. But it was the cut up lettuce. That you
Yeah,
get in the
like the
packages.
cut up processed stuff.
Yeah.
She can taste the chemicals, and that's all she tastes. So in any restaurant, she can't eat a salad in a restaurant.
You take cut up lettuce and put it in the fridge, it doesn't last very long. So they've got to make it last longer.
Right, some kind of preservative. Do you realize there's over 1,000 different enzymes in organic vegetables? God knew what he was doing when he created fruits and vegetables. We have an immune system that's amazing. Your immune system's like an army. This is a picture of me in Israel in 2016. Most amazing trip I've ever taken in my life. It was amazing to walk the land and know that Jesus' feet had walked in the same place. You have to go. Your immune system is equipped with legions of mobile soldiers. They're on duty every minute of every day, and they detect and destroy enemies. So this Daniel fast is a good head start to be able to build your body again and your immune system. The enzymes we talk about, the enzymes are important because they run your heart. They're actually catalysts and activators that make your food work synergistically and more efficiently. So all those systems get worked with metabolic enzymes.
And our body naturally makes a lot of enzymes, but it's the enzymes in the food that work with those enzymes in your body that give you the health that you need. When you cook a lot of your food, you kill those enzymes. So you're working on half power.
Generic enzymes are found in your living food. You can't find generic enzymes in your cooked food. So that's another reason why we promote so much raw food. When eaten or juiced, your body converts these generic enzymes into the metabolic enzymes. So that's why we believe in juicing, whether it's powdered juicing or made with your own juicer. Only living, raw, uncooked foods can be converted. Think about that, and then think about which table of food you eat. All right? Your body cannot make metabolic enzymes from junk food or cooked dead food. Living foods are needed daily. You should be eating living food every day. Metabolic enzymes in living food. When disease is present, there's a lack of enzyme in the system, tissue, or organ. We want to talk to you about juicing. Juicing is the number one way that's going to keep you full when you're doing a Daniel fast. Because what it does is it feeds you at a cellular level. So you get 92% of the nutrients that God put into the fruits and vegetables. Mostly, the only fruit that we put in a juice is an apple. We do not juice all the other ones. It's too high of a sugar content. So it's really important to understand that those nutrients, 92% of the nutrient, when you cook it, you probably only get 20%. You don't get very much. So we juice carrots. I'm going to show you in a minute.
It takes about a pound of carrots to make 8 ounces of juice, and that's a good handful of carrots. To sit down and eat that handful of carrots, it's going to take you a while. Your jaw's going to be sore. You're going to get sick of carrots. And like Sherry said, you're only going to get about a third of the nutrients out of it.
This is me juicing with my granddaughter, and the first time we did it, she goes, "Why are we juicing Olaf's nose?" She could not understand why we would do that and then try to drink it. When she was younger, she's 3 now. When she was younger, she did like it. But all of a sudden at 3, she doesn't like it. She also has tried our Barleymax. Barleymax is a form of juicing if you're lazy or you don't have a juicer and you still want to be able to juice and get the nutrients. You can use that as a replacement. Personally, it gives you an awful lot of energy, and it feeds your cells, those cells that are reproducing at 300 million a minute. Make it fun. I'm going to tell you, it took me an hour from the time I started to the time I finished. I was all by myself. David was at work, and this is what I juiced. 5 pounds of organic carrots, a large container of spinach, 1 to 2 bunches of kale, and 3 to 4 bunches of celery. So that is what produced 2 quarts and 8 ounces. You can mix other vegetables in there. Kale is one of the hardiest things that you can put into your body. It scores the highest on the Andy score. And you can buy, like right here, you can buy this juice. It doesn't have the enzymes in it. There's still a lot of nutrients and vitamins and things like that in it, but it doesn't have the live enzymes. When David, that's what him and I are after. Because that's what's going to build your immune system. So again, it took me an hour from the time I started. One thing that I do, this is a Breville juicer, which I think is the best. It's got a real wide mouth, so you can put a lot of stuff in all at once. What I do is I take like a Publix bag, and I put it here so that the pulp coming out, I'll answer questions later. When the pulp comes out, what it does, it all gets contained in the bag because it can make a big mess. Barleymax, this is the thing that we sell, and also this Trio Max is Barleymax, Carrot Max, and Beet Max all in one product. It's a dehydrated barley. It does not have gluten in it. First thing when people hear barley, oh, I can't have it because it has gluten. There is no gluten in the plant. It's the grains where there's gluten. So that's a common thing. This is a superfood. It builds strong, healthy body and cells. And it's dehydrated. There's a whole bunch of these products online. And Howley Acres did a study over 12 of them. And they found even after a year, our product still had, I believe it was 80% of the effectiveness after after the 1-year anniversary of an expiration date, where none of the other ones had the live enzymes still remaining.
Now, the gentleman that taught us this lifestyle was telling us, as you go through your life, you're going downhill all the time. You feel worse. You're falling off the charts. He says you can stop that progression at any time by doing a vegan diet. Okay? What's going to increase your health is when you start the juicing.
And that's a good visual, Now, a lot of people ask us about a Vitamix or a blender. They're going to blend their food because they don't have a juicer. You will only get about 32% of those nutrients. Okay? And the reason is the juicing takes all the fiber out. All right? And but with the blending, the fiber stays on. There's nothing wrong with including blended foods in your diet because it's really good. It's the whole. It's got the fiber in it. However, when you're trying to juice, you get more. Okay, so we do both. Sometimes I'll do a smoothie in the morning. I may start with coconut water. This is great on the Daniel fast. Put some coconut water, 1 cup, and then add some kale, some spinach, maybe some pumpkin seeds. If you have a supplement, you could do like a almond milk smoothie. Put some fruit in it. There's all kinds of really yummy things. We actually have out front, there's some Daniel Fast recipes that you should take one of those and make them. The navy bean soup that I mentioned earlier is on there. So I think you would really enjoy that. Okay, so week 1. This is what's going to happen during week 1. Now, not so much of this if you take this next week, like we advise, and prepare yourself. So this is the comments that we hear. Yep, that's why God gave me this prepare ye the way this year. And I said, that's what I'm going to get the message across. Prepare this year. Okay? So a lot of times people will say in the first week, I think this healthy food is making me sick. It's not the healthy food making you sick, okay? You may get a headache. You may feel very lethargic and tired. Maybe spending extra time in the bathroom. And if you don't give up your caffeine before the end of the week, you will get a caffeine headache. I don't know anybody who has not gotten a caffeine withdrawal headache. You may be bloated. Again, social distancing is a good thing to do at this time. And, and week 2, this was amazing. Our lifestyle center, people came for 5 days or 10. And within days, usually day 3, people started to say, you know, I'm digesting my food better. You know, I have more energy. My symptoms are improving. I'm losing weight. I sleep so much more soundly. My belly bloat is gone.
Cut down the diabetes medication.
Cutting down on insulin or some other medication. And most important, they start to hear more clearly from Yahweh. Think about it. When you start cleaning and detoxing, you are actually going to open up that channel. And you're gonna hear because you're gonna be still. And you know, a good way to look at this is if you're in the bathroom a lot, you know, that's a good time. You know, God doesn't care that you're sitting on the throne. So talk to him because you're gonna spend more time in there. So if you're having trouble finding time, that's a good place to start. I told you, we did a whole hour class on this. Okay. Week 3. This is what we usually hear. I can't wait for this fast to be over. I'm so excited to get back to my coffee and chocolate. And so why are we so excited to get back to the habits that were causing us not to have optimal health? Think about it. You know, where is the logic in that? You know that some of these things made you feel discomfort, yet we can't wait to run back to Egypt. It's amazing, you know, and it really shows you flesh. Our flesh is really strong. We have an enemy who's trying to wipe us out. And you know what? We have to get determined and fight. This is a fight for your life, really. And your more important, your quality of life. You know, our quality of life has improved so much since we changed our diet. You know, and that's why that's our passion. You know, I really feel in this coming year, God is going to do some amazing things for us. To fast with purpose and experience the benefits. It's going to detox your body, boost your immune system, lower your triglycerides and cholesterol. A lot of times if you go to a cardiac doctor, they're looking at those 2 numbers. All right? So changing to a plant-based diet or predominantly plant-based is actually going to improve your numbers. We used to tell people, go to the doctors before you come, get a full blood panel workup, and then 30 days on a vegan diet, go back and get your blood work. And we've had 85-year-old people come back with their blood work. Everything was aced. 30 days. So this is 3 weeks. Maybe stretch it to a month this year. Clearer thinking, you start to curb addictions. You start to control your sugar addictions. When you start to give up sugar, it all of a sudden, it's not an issue. You don't crave it anymore. Once it works its way out of your system. Losing weight and lowering blood pressure and fighting that inflammation. The inflammation will start to detox out of your body. 1 Samuel 25:6, long life I give to you. This is one of my favorite verses. Long life I give to you, good health to you and your household. Maybe if you eat healthier, the rest of your household will eat healthier. And good health to all that is yours. That is an awesome promise of God. Deuteronomy 30:19, I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life. He's giving us such good advice. Jeremiah 6:16, stand by the roads and look and ask for the ancient paths. Think about the Torah. It's the ancient paths where the good way is, and walk in it and find rest for your souls. It's the way to live the good life that God wants for us. So the choice is yours. Daniel fast or not. Remember, the SAD diet depletes your body of nutrients. The plant-based diet or the Daniel fast, it nourishes your body. Start to make your temple a priority. Because God told us, that teaching the original rules about health. I thought that was the coolest thing when he gave that to me at 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 Chronicles 15:7, be strong and do not give up. If you start this and you start to feel discouraged, I can't be on the phone 24 hours a day, but you can call me, okay? And I will encourage you and I will pray with you because this is not hard. We've given you some steps to make it easier and make it fun. Be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. Your reward will be better health. Your aches and pains, a lot of them will go away. And this year, I'm going to challenge you to write to us. We'll give you our email, and you can tell us, your success story. I want to hear testimonies this year. I want to hear what this lifestyle change did, and then what you're going to incorporate. Maybe you won't do the whole thing. You don't have to stay on the Daniel fast. Just do and incorporate some of the things that we teach, and you will be blessed, and you will love it.
And Sherry talked about me having arthritis at 32, and as the years went on, it got worse and worse, and there would be days I could hardly walk, and if I was to shake your hand, I'd say, please don't squeeze it. They just hurt so badly. And praise the Lord, that's all gone. These normal things that we're taught that are just normal as you get older. What a bunch of baloney.
We gave you a sheet this year with some tips on starting the Daniel fast, and then we have some products on the other side. And there is a Daniel fast food list out there in the hallway to the restrooms. And really, let's hear some amazing testimonies this year. We've got about 3 minutes that we could take a couple questions. I know, Chuck, you had one. The pulp can be used. You get approximately, I would say, 10 cups from the recipe that I had. You would get about 10 cups of pulp. You could use it in a pie crust. You could use it in a lasagna. But the way I look at it is soups. You could put it in soups. But honestly, if you have a farm, the cows love it. But there's so much pulp that it really, for us, our focus at that time is to get the pulp out and discard it.
If you have a garden, you could use it in the garden.
Yeah, in a garden. It makes great compost. Audrey.
I know the Barleymax
Yes.
and the Triomax. Would you recommend the Triomax over the Barleymax if you're choosing just one?
It doesn't. David and I believe in the Barleymax every day. But what the other one does is it gives you more of a juicing option. So it's got other things in it. So it's got the barley, the carrot, and the beet.
Can you combine them? Or?
You can, if you just get more of a hit. But we do it both ways. We don't do it both ways all the time because we mostly juice. But when we travel, we take the Trio Max, and it's really good. It's good during the Daniel fast, but the Barleymax we use as an everyday supplement.
I would always add too that the biggest battle I had was my mind.
Say that again.
My biggest battle was my mind.
Your mind.
I would look at those Oreo cookies and say, "Oh, they're so good." So I took one bite and
Uh-huh.
terrible.
Right.
It's your mind
It
that
is.
you're battling. Your body knows what it wants and loves, but your mind is going to tell you to go the wrong way. So shut it up.
Right. One more question because we have to.
No, wait, I just want to say one more thing, because I was fasting, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, and I knew I couldn't do it. So you have to ask the Holy Spirit to help you, or you're not doing anything.
Right. That's true because the enemy is going to come against you. We're going to have one more question. The enemy is going to come against you because he does not want you to get healthy. Reese.
Yeah, Tommy, Charles said about fruits and stuff. I got a pineapple that might have been out of, it was right out of the field. That might have had something to do with it. But it will, citric acid right out of a fresh pineapple, will take the lining off your lips, and then it will keep the sugar cut off the scale.
Yeah, well, it's a very high sugar fruit.
It's right out of the field. I got mine out of the field.
Yeah. Okay. David will be out front to answer any questions. We have products out there. And I just want to thank you, my home church, for letting us come here and speak to you. We really enjoy watching people grow healthy. Thank you very much.